Imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out a simple US quarter, only to discover it's worth more than your entire paycheck. These aren't ordinary coins. These are the quarters collectors fight over, the ones that disappear from the market the second they're found. Today, I'm revealing the rare quarters hiding in plain sight, the ones that turn everyday people into jackpot winners. If you've ever held a quarter in your hand, this might be the moment your luck finally hits. What if I told you that hiding inside your spare change could be a quarter worth thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars? These rare US quarters don't look special at first glance, but once collectors spot them, the bidding wars get insane. Today, I'm breaking down the quarters everyone overlooks, the mint errors, the scarce dates, the coins so valuable they can change your entire week, your month, even your bank account. Imagine holding in your hand not just a piece of metal, but a shining emblem of American history, a miniature monument that tells the story of a land of mountains, rivers, and unbroken spirit. Today, we dive deep into the 2007 Idaho quarter, one of the most fascinating and symbolically powerful coins ever struck by the United States Mint. Welcome to the world where every coin speaks, where design meets history, and where small change carries the weight of a state's legacy. The 2007 Idaho quarter, released as part of the iconic 50-state quarters program, was more than just another addition to the nation's currency. It was a tribute to Idaho's natural beauty, wild spirit, and the soaring majesty of its most recognizable symbol, the peregrine falcon. When this coin entered circulation, millions of Americans saw it as change in their pocket, but few realized the immense planning, artistry, and symbolism that went into its creation. This coin represented not only Idaho's entry into the Union in 1890, but also the very essence of its geography, wildlife, and heritage. The story begins with the 50-state quarters program launched by the United States Mint in 1999 under the authority of the 50 States Commemorative Coin Program. Each quarter would be released in the order that the states ratified the Constitution or were admitted to the Union for Idaho. That moment came on July 3, 1890, making it the 43rd state, and thus the 43rd quarter in the series. The Idaho quarter was officially released on June 5, 2007. Its design immediately caught the eye of collectors and citizens alike. The reverse features a magnificent image of a peregrine falcon in flight, set against the outline of the state of Idaho with the motto, Esto Perpetua, meaning, let it be perpetual. This Latin phrase serves as Idaho's official state motto, symbolizing everlasting existence, endurance, and pride. The peregrine falcon was chosen not only for its stunning beauty, but for its symbolism. It represents power, vision, and freedom, characteristics deeply tied to the spirit of Idaho, known for its rugged wilderness and breathtaking landscapes. The falcon also holds a place of significance in the state's conservation history. Once on the brink of extinction due to pesticide use in the mid-20th century, the species made a miraculous comeback, thanks in part to wildlife recovery efforts across the country, including Idaho's own environmental leadership. This story of rebirth and resilience mirrors Idaho's character and made the falcon the perfect choice for the coin. The design process began with submissions and proposals from Idaho citizens, schools, and artists across the state. The governor's office and a special committee were tasked with narrowing down the designs before sending the final recommendations to the United States Mint. After months of discussion, the peregrine falcon design by Don Everhart, a talented sculptor engraver for the U.S. Mint, was chosen. Everhart's attention to detail brought the bird's grace and precision to life, with outstretched wings, sharp eyes, and a posture that captures motion even in still metal. The obverse of the coin continues to bear the familiar portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan in 1932 and later modified by William Cousins for the state quarters program. This side remains consistent across the series with inscriptions United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and Quarter Dollar. Now, the Idaho quarters production took place primarily at the Denver and Philadelphia mints, both facilities striking millions of coins for circulation. The mint marks D and P respectively can be found on the obverse of the coin, near Washington's hairline, but beyond the circulation pieces, a small number of special versions were struck for collectors, including proof and silver-proof coins minted at San Francisco with the S mint mark. These proofs featured mirror-like fields and frosted designs offering a breathtaking visual contrast that truly highlighted the artistry of the peregrine falcon. As for mintage numbers, the Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 294 million pieces, while the Denver Mint struck about 286 million. The San Francisco Mint produced around 2 million proof coins and roughly 1.5 million silver proofs. Despite such large numbers, certain high-grade examples and error coins have become extremely valuable among collectors. Coins with full strikes, no die cracks or misalignments, and sharp detailing of the falcon's feathers often fetch premium prices, especially in mint state condition, graded MS67 or higher by professional grading services, such as PCGS and NGC. The Idaho quarter's symbolism goes far beyond its design and minting. It stands as a reflection of Idaho's cultural and natural identity, a land of adventure where rugged mountains like the Sawtooths and Salmon River canyons shape both landscape and people. Its inclusion of the peregrine falcon serves as a reminder of human responsibility in preserving wildlife and the triumph of recovery through science and dedication. Even the state motto Esto Perpetua is a message that resonates with timelessness. It represents Idaho's desire to remain ever beautiful, ever free, and ever wild from a numismatic perspective. The Idaho Quarter occupies a special place in the State Quarters program, being one of the final issues in the series. Its artistry is often praised for its balance of symbolism and simplicity. Collectors regard it as one of the most elegant and cleanly executed designs of all 50 states, and the way the falcon's wings sweep across the state outline gives a sense of unity between nature and geography, an aesthetic decision rarely seen in other quarters. Beyond the artistic value lies the historical context. The mid-2000s were a time when the United States Mint was reaching its peak. In public engagement with coins, millions of Americans became casual collectors. Children learned state history through pocket change, and numismatics saw a revival like never before. The Idaho Quarter contributed to that movement, helping to bridge art education and heritage in a single circulating piece. Now, if you turn your attention to coin varieties, there are known examples of minor die clashes and double dies, particularly around the lettering Esto Perpetua and the falcon's beak. While not major errors, they remain interesting finds for eagle-eyed collectors. High-quality specimens with brilliant uncirculated luster are often encapsulated by grading services and command higher values depending on their strike clarity and surface condition. Some collectors even build complete 2007 mint sets featuring Idaho alongside other state quarters from the same year, like Montana, Washington, Wyoming, and Utah, creating thematic collections that tell the story of America's western frontier. When comparing the Idaho Quarter to others in the series, its design stands out for being one of the few to feature wildlife as the central theme rather than architecture or human figures. This made it instantly recognizable and gave it a timeless appeal. Even outside the coin community, it has been featured in educational displays, classrooms, and wildlife conservation materials, making it not just a coin, but a symbol of environmental recovery and pride. The Idaho Quarter also inspired discussions about design philosophy in U.S. coinage. Critics and collectors alike praised its powerful simplicity and clean lines, something that would influence later coin programs, including the America the Beautiful Quarters and even the 2021 Washington Crossing the Delaware issue. In this way, Idaho's coin became both an artistic benchmark and a conservation emblem in American numismatic history today. Nearly 2 decades later, the 2007 Idaho Quarter continues to circulate, though many have been pulled from change by collectors or admirers who recognized its beauty and story, some preserved in pristine condition in albums or display cases, while others quietly pass from hand to hand, still carrying Idaho's message Esto Perpetua. Every time they move through commerce in the grand timeline of American coinage, the Idaho Quarter is more than a memento of a state. It is a lesson in symbolism, unity, and perseverance, a representation of how even the smallest coin can carry the mightiest message. It tells us that beauty and meaning can be struck into metal, and that the spirit of Idaho, the soaring falcon, the eternal motto, and the land everlasting will forever live on in silver and copper nickel, for those who look closely, for those who listen to the stories. Their coins whisper. The 2007 Idaho Quarter remains a masterpiece, a tiny yet enduring testament to America's wild heart and Idaho's perpetual pride. Imagine holding in your hand a small, shining piece of metal that tells the story of an entire state's pride, history, and culture. Imagine a coin that connects millions of collectors across America and marks the beginning of a new era in United States coinage. Welcome to the world of the 1999 Georgia State Quarter, a masterpiece that is not just a coin, but a symbol of Southern heritage, strength, and identity. This is the coin that took America by storm as part of the revolutionary 50-state Quarters program. A bold move by the United States Mint that forever changed the face of American numismatics, and today we dive deep into the story behind the Georgia Quarter, a coin born from history, molded with symbolism, and cherished by collectors. Around the world, the 1999 Georgia State Quarter was released on July 19, 1999, as the fourth coin in the legendary 50-state Quarters program, which began earlier that same year to celebrate each state's unique heritage and contribution to the Union. Georgia became the fourth state to join the United States in 1788, and its coin proudly showcases that milestone, designed with elegance and deep meaning. This quarter captures the essence of Georgia's spirit, its agriculture, its courage and history, and its timeless devotion to freedom. The coin was struck in both Philadelphia and Denver mints, with millions of pieces distributed across the nation. But despite its high mintage, the Georgia Quarter remains a beloved collectible for its artistry, symbolism, and the historical power it represents. The design of the 1999 Georgia Quarter is one of the most detailed and meaningful among the early state issues. The reverse side features the famous peach, the state fruit of Georgia, which has long been a symbol of the state's agricultural strength and beauty. The peach sits prominently at the center, surrounded by live oak sprigs representing Georgia's official state tree and a long-standing emblem of strength and resilience wrapped. Around this design is a graceful ribbon that reads, "Wisdom, Justice, Moderation," the state's official motto. These three words reflect the guiding principles that have shaped Georgia's government and people since its founding. Beneath the design lies the state outline, giving the coin a sense of identity and belonging, unlike any before it, and just below that, we find the statehood date, 1788, linking this modern coin to the deep roots of America's birth. The artist behind this design was T. James Farrell, an engraver for the United States Mint, who skillfully balanced simplicity and symbolism in his artwork. His creation captures the story of Georgia in a way that speaks directly to both residents and collectors everywhere. The coin's artistic composition is clean yet full of history. Every leaf and line carries significance, from the resilience of the live oak to the sweetness of the peach and the eternal wisdom of the state motto on the obverse side. The coin continues. The proud American tradition, with the profile of George Washington, originally sculpted by John Flanagan in 1932, the inscriptions, "United States of America," "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and quarter dollar surround the image, maintaining the timeless style of the Washington Quarter. But what truly makes the Georgia Quarter stand out in the vast sea of coinage is not just its design, but its place in history as part of the very first year of the 50-state Quarters program. This coin was part of a cultural phenomenon that reintroduced millions of Americans to coin collecting. After years of declining interest, the program sparked excitement in every household. Children began collecting coins from each state. Adults rekindled their love for numismatics, and schools even used the quarters as teaching tools about geography, history, and civics. The Georgia Quarter represented the heart of that movement. It became a token of state pride and a piece of Americana that united people through their shared heritage. Minted at both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, the 1999 Georgia Quarter was produced in large quantities with over 939 million pieces combined, but not all were created equal. Collectors today often search for coins with sharp strikes, clean surfaces, and full details, particularly in mint state or proof condition. Proof versions of the Georgia Quarter were specially made for collectors by the San Francisco Mint, with mirror-like fields and frosted designs, giving them a striking contrast and a level of beauty that ordinary circulation strikes could not match. These proof coins, especially those graded PR69 or PR70 by professional grading services, remain highly desirable among serious collectors. Now let's talk about the variations and errors that make certain Georgia Quarters especially valuable. Over the years, a number of minting errors have surfaced, making this coin one of the most interesting among early state quarters. Some of the most notable include Off-center strikes die cracks, double dies, and even coins struck on experimental or wrong planchets, such as coins made on nickel planchets. Instead of the standard copper nickel-clad planchets, these rare mistakes turn ordinary quarters into valuable treasures, with some examples selling for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on rarity, and condition collectors are always on the lookout for such anomalies because they represent a unique piece of minting history that connects art, technology, and human error in one incredible artifact. Beyond its numismatic appeal, the Georgia quarter carries deep cultural significance. It stands as a tribute to the state's role in American history, from its early colonial days through the Revolution and into modern times. The state's motto, Wisdom, Justice. Moderation not only reflects Georgia's principles, but also symbolizes the ideals that continue to shape the nation. The peach and live oak serve as reminders of the state's natural beauty and strength. While the outline of Georgia emphasizes identity and unity for those who call the state home, this coin is a badge of honor, a small yet powerful reminder of their heritage and contribution to the United States over 2 decades later. The Georgia quarter remains a cornerstone of modern coin collecting. It has inspired generations to explore the stories behind everyday change and to discover how much history can fit into a single piece of metal from its release. In 1999 to its continued presence in collections today, this coin's legacy continues to grow. It represents not only the pride of Georgia, but also the rebirth of numismatic passion across America. So when you hold the 1999 Georgia State Quarter, take a moment to appreciate what it truly represents. It is not just a 25-cent piece, it is a time capsule, a work of art, and a monument to state pride. It carries the fingerprints of history, the craftsmanship of skilled engravers, and the dreams of millions who saw in these small, silver-colored discs the story of their homeland. This is the tale of the 1999 Georgia Quarter, a coin that stands as a bridge between past and present, between art and history, between the pride of one state and the unity of a nation. And if you think this little piece of metal is just a coin, think again, because within its polished surface lies a story that could fill hours with fascination, mystery, and pride. Welcome to the legacy of the Georgia Quarter, where history is struck in metal and every detail tells the story of America's soul. Have you ever held a coin so ordinary yet so full of secrets that it could tell stories of history, pride, error, and pure American craftsmanship? What if I told you that the 2005 Kansas Quarter, a coin worth just 25 cents, hides mysteries that make collectors chase it across the world? Welcome to the incredible journey of the Kansas State Quarter, a coin that celebrates the heart of America, the Great Plains, and the strength of a state that built its legacy through courage, freedom, and endless golden fields of wheat. Now let's dive deep into the untold and fascinating history of the 2005 Kansas Quarter, from its design inspiration and minting process to the incredible errors that made it one of the most famous coins in the modern state quarters series, because what started as a simple part of a 50-state collection became one of the most talked-about coins in numismatic history. The year was 2005, and America was in the midst of one of the most successful coin programs in its history. The 50-State Quarters program launched in 1999 by the United States Mint under the United States Department of the Treasury. This ambitious initiative aimed to honor each of the 50 states with a unique quarter design celebrating their history, culture, and natural heritage. The 2005 Kansas State Quarter was the 34th release in the program, representing the great state of Kansas, which joined the Union on January 29, 1861. This coin became a tribute to the state's agricultural heritage, its vast plains, and the resilient spirit of its people. The Kansas Quarter was officially released into circulation on August 29, 2005, minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The design was chosen after months of public input and design submissions that reflected Kansas's unique history. The final design featured a powerful combination of 2 state symbols, the American bison and the sunflower. The bison, also known as the American buffalo, represents the wildlife and natural freedom of the Kansas plains, while the sunflower stands tall as the state's official flower, symbolizing growth, energy, and life on the open prairie. The coin's motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, adds a layer of unity that ties together the story of Kansas with that of the nation. The obverse of the coin continued the familiar image of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan and originally used since 1932. However, for the state quarters program, it was slightly modified by William Cousins to fit the updated commemorative design style. The reverse design of the Kansas quarter was created by Norman E. Nemeth, an artist known for his precise attention to detail and deep respect for American history. His design successfully captured the essence of Kansas, simple, strong, and full of life. One of the fascinating aspects that made the Kansas quarter stand out in numismatic history is the presence of some rare and highly collectible mint errors. Among the most famous of these are the In God We Rust error coins. This incredible minting error occurred primarily in some of the 2005 Kansas quarters produced at the Kansas Denver Mint. The reason behind this error was grease or debris that filled part of the letter T in the word trust, causing it to appear as In God We Rust. These error coins quickly gained fame among collectors and became a striking symbol of how even a small imperfection could turn an everyday coin into a treasure. Some of these error coins have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on their condition and rarity. The Kansas quarter's popularity extended far beyond its face value. Collectors praised its simplicity and artistic balance. Unlike some state designs that became crowded with symbols, the Kansas quarter focused on two iconic elements, the bison and the sunflower, creating a bold and clean visual appeal that captured the heartland of America. The bison itself holds a powerful symbolic meaning as one of the great animals of the American frontier, once roaming freely across the plains in massive herds before near extinction in the 19th century. Its comeback in modern times mirrors the strength and endurance of Kansas itself. The production figures for the 2005 Kansas quarter reflect the scale of the state quarters program. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 263 million Kansas quarters, while the Denver Mint struck around 300 million, making it one of the more abundant issues in the series. However, despite its large mintage, specific varieties like the In God We Rust error coins remain scarce and sought after. Proof versions were also minted at the San Francisco Mint, both in clad and 90% silver versions, catering to collectors seeking pristine examples for their albums and display sets. From a historical perspective, the Kansas quarter also represents a larger story about how coins became educational tools for the nation. The 50 State Quarters program not only brought millions of new collectors into the hobby, but also reignited national interest in history and geography. Each quarter became a miniature lesson about America's states, their symbols, and their unique contributions to the nation's identity. For Kansas, the coin served as a reminder of the state's agricultural foundation, its role in westward expansion, and its historical significance in the struggle for freedom during the turbulent years leading up to the Civil War. Another aspect worth noting is how the Kansas quarter embodies design balance and cultural pride. The inclusion of the sunflower not only adds aesthetic appeal, but also connects directly to the state's nickname, the Sunflower State. In this way, the coin is more than metal. It's storytelling through art, a piece of symbolism that can fit in your pocket but represents generations of heritage and progress. Collectors today often classify the 2005 Kansas quarter in several categories. Circulated versions can be found easily in pocket change, while uncirculated rolls, mint sets, and proof versions hold higher value for those maintaining pristine collections. Error coins, especially those with the missing T, can range dramatically in value depending on how bold and complete the error appears. The combination of its clean design, strong symbolism, and collectible varieties ensures the Kansas quarter remains a significant entry in the state quarter series, even decades after its release. Over time, the Kansas quarter has come to represent a deeper message about American craftsmanship and attention to detail. It reminds collectors and historians that even in the smallest form of art, a 25-cent piece, there exists a narrative about resilience, unity, and national pride. The bison continues to stand strong, the sunflower continues to bloom, and Kansas continues to shine through its representation in this iconic piece of American currency. From the vast plains to the mint presses, from the artist's sketches to the collector's albums, the story of the 2005 Kansas State Quarter is a perfect blend of heritage and art. It carries not just metal, but memory. A memory of how America celebrated its diversity one quarter at a time. Whether you're a collector, a history lover, or just someone fascinated by the details hidden in everyday coins, the Kansas Quarter reminds us that beauty and value often come in the simplest forms, right there in the change jingling in your pocket.